All right, guys, it is that time of year. We are officially entering fall, and it's time for a market update. It's been a while since we've done this and really talked market numbers, but let's kind of go through what we've seen this year. It's 2023, right? How has things changed from winter to spring to now summer and entering fall? Let's gonna dive into it. So obviously we know that mortgage rates has continued to be super volatile, which means the buyer market has been super volatile, where we're gonna have a hot month where rates come slightly down into the low sixes, and then all of a sudden it's spiked up to 7 and we get crickets again. And so the market is trying to play catch up constantly. And at the same time, we still have this record low number of homes for sale because over 80% of homeowners have an interest rate that starts with a 2, 3, or 4%, meaning they don't really wanna sell right now. So we're in this predicament, right? But let's kind of get nerdy into the actual numbers. So sales for single family homes are down by 19.7% compared to 2022 at the same time last year. So that's a 20% difference. But again, we have to get perspective, right? What was it like in fall of 2022? We had more inventory than we have now, and interest rates were in the 5. So we still had a lot of demand in the fall. However, what's going to be interesting is the next month or so, when we start to compare, October, November month to the 2022, that's when interest rates had spiked that month. And so I'm really curious to see, are we kind of on par to how it was last fall? Are we on the same? Because fall 2022, it was like a hard stop. Like once interest rates went from 4 to 6.5%, it was crickets for a good 3 months of just people being in shock, I think. And it really took until February, March this year where they started to feel like, okay, this isn't going away. I don't want to wait another year. Let me just see what I can get in. Let's see what's next. Single family sales down 20% pretty much. And then on the condo sales, we're down 16.9%. So pretty much 17% from fall of last year. Condo sales are steady though, with no change in the number of sales when compared to a month ago. We're just comparing 2022 to 2023. However, if we're looking on a month-to-month basis, we're pretty steady as far as consistently the number of sales we've had this summer. Let's talk about, really the average days on market, right? That's a good indicator of buyer demand. Again, of inventory. How fast are homes selling on the market? So single family homes are an average of 18 days on market in August, which is up 2 days from July. So just saying a little bit faster than we were in July. On the condo side is also 18 days on market on average in August. And I can say, I think that's pretty accurate, but from what I've been seeing, there is a big variety, right? We have the renovated ones and the ones that are beautifully staged selling within 7 days. And then we have these older ones who have original carpet, original kitchens. Maybe they need some TLC, there's fingerprints on the walls, right? It literally just needs a coat of paint. Those are sitting for 30 days or sometimes 75 days. And so the fact that our average days is still in the teens, that shows a really good buyer demand. If our average days on markets came back to like 30 days on market, that's kind of taken us back to 2017, 2018, where we were a much more balanced market. Really, in order for that to happen, the buyer demand has to go way down because we just have limited inventory. And so I think we might see that in the next 6 to 12 months as interest rates continue to increase, which is what is predicted for the next year or so. So if we're seeing interest rates in the 8s and the 9s, which could very likely be in the future, I think our average days on market is going to go up because we just have less buyers in general. Then let's go to median sales price, right? So how much are homes actually costing? And you got to keep in mind, median isn't average, right? When we talk about the median number, it's you take all the prices and you take the middle number, right? I really like to use the average number, but for whatever reason, our MLS always gives us the median. So the median price point for a single family home last month was 1.110, so $1,110,000 in August. And I feel like that is, again, accurate when a lot of the listings that I'm seeing, especially if you're looking 3, 4 bedrooms, it's gonna be almost to 1.2. It's actually a decrease of 1.4% in price from last year. So then you have that average or the median, right? If a lot are in the 800s and a lot are in the 900s. And then in the town side, we're going 1.1 and above. 1.1 makes sense. On the condo side, median sales price is $515,000, which is a 3.3% increase from last year. So as far as equity goes, right? If we're talking growing equity despite a volatile market, condos are still appreciating, and they're saying 3% if we go month by month, but I don't have the year average. I still think we're gonna see about a 5 to 7% increase in 2023 for home values. So that's still really solid. You're not losing home value, but if we're comparing month to month, it might show a little negative. So average days on market in general from the last month to this month are up meaning we're slowing down slightly, and the home prices are up, which is interesting, right? So even though we're selling a little bit slower, our prices keep going up. And so what does that mean? It still means we have record low inventory, we need more sellers to sell, and we still have more than enough buyers to buy up our inventory. And I think on average, like if you talk about how long will our inventory last us, well, right now we have 252 sales for single family and 422 sales for condos in the last month. I mean, that's really only 2 to 3 months of inventory when you talk about like actual inventory supply. So it's not enough. We really need a lot more homes for sale in order to come down to a more balanced market. And then just as a reminder, if you are somebody who is planning to buy in the next 12 months and you are gonna wait until interest rates come down is what you're believing, I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna be waiting a lot longer than you think, because I don't think we're gonna see the 5s for quite a while. However, there are ways to negotiate your interest rate down. You can ask the seller for credit to pay down your interest rate. So if you're getting a 6.75 or a 7% right now in conventional, you can actually get a whole percentage down from the seller to give you credit, and we can negotiate that for you. So I would much rather have you get in this fall and buy down your interest rate into the 6s if you can, or even into the 5s if you're a VA loan, than to wait a year or two out and home prices continue to increase. And then if you compare apples to apples, like if you were to buy today at what we can buy you down to at today's price versus waiting and the price goes up, the interest rate might be slightly lower, you might find that it's equivalent or it's even more advantageous to buy today regardless, just because home prices are gonna continue to increase. And so that's where knowledge is power. And until you can talk with a lender, run those numbers, actually get pre-approved today. It does no harm to you. It's just education. I really feel like people are making a big mistake by thinking that they should wait. And I think there's a lot of like mental objections that people are working through because it's scary, right? The headlines are saying one thing, realtors are saying another. Every market is different. So what you're watching on CNN does not apply to Hawaii. What you're watching in so-and-so's town does not apply here in Hawaii. And so talking to local experts is really going to be your key to navigating the path to home ownership in the next 12 months. Okay, that was a lot of nerdy numbers, and I know my editors are going to make that real pretty with graphics for you. But if you guys are curious and you want to know even better, like nitty gritty on neighborhoods, right? Because this is just Oahu as a whole island. It's going to be different in Ho'opili versus Mililani versus town, right? Every market in the island has different numbers. And so what we're seeing in Ho'opili is things are selling much, much faster. They're selling over ask price, right? Versus if it's in Salt Lake and it's an older condo, maybe it's sitting 50 days. And so that is intel that you need to be privy to in order to make a good decision for you and your family. Okay, guys, I will see you next week for another video. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. My contact info is always down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.